Good afternoon, dear students. As we all know that we have started our first chapter of unit ecology. Clear? In our last lecture, we have finished that what are the various responses of biotic factors towards the abiotic factors. In that, we have studied about regulators, conformers, migration and suspension. I hope so that the things were clear to you. Today, we will study that how those biotic factors have adapted themselves towards those abiotic factors. Clear? Students, it is very much important that organism must adapt themselves to a particular environment or condition in which they are living. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you that what do you mean by the term adaptation? Dear students, adaptation, it is a specialized characteristics such as morphological, physiological and behavioral, okay, that must possessed by plants or animal, clear, so that they can live in a particular environment. Otherwise, it is very difficult for them to survive and the result of that they will die. Okay, so first I will take the adaptation of animals in hot desert. Okay, so example is of kangaroo rat. This kangaroo rat we can found in North American desert, dear students, and this rat it seldomly drinks water as it will drive it by the metabolic water which is produced by the oxidation of fats. Okay, there is a lot of fats below its skin which will also prevent evaporation, okay, and also it excrete highly concentrated urine, means that there is negligible amount of water in its urine. Clear? Now I will take second example, that is adaptation of plants to desert area. Clear? Here I will take that how those xerophytic plants, but first of all, what do you understand by the xerophyte? These are the plants which are found in xeric conditions. Xeric mean highly hot conditions. Clear? So here those plants, okay, they have leaves and those leaves has been reduced to spines in order to prevent transpiration, and in some those leaves have been reduced, and in some what happened, stem has been modified to become leaves and it is thick leaf. Clear? As we can see in case of Opuntia. Second is those xerophyte plants have sunken stomata. What is sunken stomata? Students, as you can see in this diagram, in normal leaves we can see that stomata is present on the surface of the epidermis, okay, on the leaves. But here we can see that it is sunken down, okay, here. And it will prevent less transpiration and it opens during night time only, and this type of stomata is known as scotoactive stomata, and this type of scotoactive stomata it provide CAMP pathway also. What is CAMP? Crassulaceous acid metabolism, okay, it is alternative to photosynthesis. In this what happen, stomata open during night, okay, in order to prevent transpiration. And also in some plants, okay, such as C4 plant, they have C4 pathway, okay, and they have this condition, that is they have Kranz anatomy, okay, and this prevent wilting up of the leaves and it can perform photosynthesis easily in the xerophytic plant. Clear? Next is your students, animal living in colder regions. Okay, you might have seen that the animals which are living in the colder regions, they have smaller extremities. Extremities are something which protrude out from your body. It can be our ear, it can be our nose, okay, it can be our hands also. Clear? So those animals which live in xeric condition, they have smaller these in order to prevent heat loss. Clear? And that is known as Allen's rule. Next rule is Groger's rule. In this what happened, he says that the animals which are living in the equator region, they have black or brown body or fur. It is due to the secretion of the melanin, as it prevent a body, okay, from getting any kind of disaster. Next is the hot conditions, and okay, hot condition and very cold condition. How many bacterias they are able to survive in such a hot condition or such a cold condition? Students, it is due to the presence of some proteins, some enzymes. Okay, in case of very cold condition they have antifreeze protein, whereas in case of hot condition they have thermostable proteins such as Thermus aquaticus. Okay, it is a kind of archaebacteria, okay, which have thermostable protein, and it allow it to survive in such a drastic condition also. Clear? Next is your poikilotherms. Another name of poikilotherms is cold-blooded animal, and we all know that what is cold-blooded animals. These are those which can change their body temperature. Okay, so what happen here, whenever their temperature of the body goes below the comfort zone, okay, they will come out and they will bask in the sun. Okay, and as soon as their body temperature will goes above the comfort zone, again they will go in their burrow and escape there. Okay, so I hope so that you have understood all these things. One more important thing is there, okay, about human beings. Human beings which are living at high altitude, okay, they have more number of RBC as comparison to those people who are living in plains. Why? Because we know that the concentration of oxygen at high altitude is very low. Okay, so in order to bind with more and more oxygen, we need more and more hemoglobin. Okay, and that will come only by the increasing in the RBC count. Clear? So I hope so that you have understood that how various animals have adapted themselves to a drastic conditions of abiotic factors. Thank you and have a nice day.